welcome. If you're new here, my name is Nikki and I'm the maker behind the blog Uprising.com and Uprising Handmade, my small accessories line. In last week's video, we decluttered my entire fabric stash, and this week we are back for a full sewing room tour. After completing my fabric clear out last week, I spent some time organizing the rest of my sewing space, working on that horrendous closet that I showed you, and getting everything in top-notch shape so that I can get back to the real fun of sewing. Today I'm going to walk you through the whole room piece by piece. Again, please remember that I am heavily pregnant at the moment and run out of breath very easily, so if I'm huffing and puffing, I apologize. It annoys me too, and I wish I could fix it. But let's jump right in and look at the room.
Walking into our room, it's pretty much right off of our kitchen area. This is what you see. Immediately turning to the right, I'm going to start behind the door. Utilizing the space behind the door was really important to me. So I have my thread rack up here. This is something that was built for me actually for nail polish when I was back in high school, but has since been repurposed. You can see it's only about 2 inches deep and holds all my small spools of thread. And then down below it, I have one of the IKEA peg racks where I actually keep all of my bag making hardware. You can tell who my favorite bag making hardware supplier is. And then some photo backgrounds down below, just because they're easy to grab. Immediately next to it, I have this paper organizer that holds the stuff I'm currently working on the most. So I just made an orchid mini, and I have another one planned. I have a few other patterns that I have planned to make in here. This holds baby patterns at the moment. And then the bottom, currently empty. Next to it, we have our mannequin friend showing off a bag. And I have this little hook here that was gifted to me that holds my most recent makes, mostly things that I need to still take photos of. And then we have the room's closet. This just got a makeover. So, turn the light on. This is both my sewing room closet and kind of like our home office closet. So it serves a lot of purposes. Just put this on the back of the door to hold a bunch of the stuff I go for more often. So I have extra serger cones, extra parts to my sewing machine, my walking foot, random assorted notions in a label maker. This is all of my closed zipper tape. I have somewhere else where I keep the open packages. Some batting and hams, and then other general craft supplies. Down at the bottom, a cat. Hello. And then I'm gonna have to step over her the whole time. Immediately inside I have extra hangers. I have all of my lighting and backdrop supplies, printer, filing cabinet. This stuff down here is all mostly inventory and product display stuff for craft fairs. Some fabric storage. I have an old Cricut up there, my backup machine, and some product boxes. I have the bin where electronics go to die here. It's about as organized as they get. A random pin board. And up here actually is where I store the bulk of my patterns. I have these I got from Amazon. They're just craft paper file organizers, and you can see I have them organized, some by designer, and then overflow. I need to work on a better system here. Down here I have a few items that need altering or mending. Just keep them all in one spot. This room is also where we store our vacuum and cleaning supplies, so those are there. Next to it I keep my waxed canvas. The cat you just saw likes to chew wax canvas, so I like to keep it in here so it can be kept away from her. I have a bunch of business supplies up top here, shipping, mostly shipping boxes, extra file folders, and then this is kind of like my home office-y station. So this I use as my dump bin, so when I get any sort of paper thing that I don't want to deal with, it just goes in here. Once or twice a month I go through it all and clean it. And then under it I have this guy from the hardware store that keeps a bunch of my smaller sewing bits and bobs organized. You can kind of see what's on there. This is mostly home office-y stuff. This is a lot of sewing manuals and sewing notebooks that I like to just have handy. This is something I just did recently and has been a blessing. These are actually just little push pins, you can see up there. But all of the needles I use the most, I pinned right there because I had an issue where I completely ran out. So now they're up there and I hopefully won't do that again. And then more mostly business supplies down here. And that's the whole closet. Coming back out here. Cat is a permanent fixture in the room. So this is the door to the closet we just came out of. Behind it, we have some floating shelves. The top wicker bin has beading supplies, more sewing notebooks, and a shipping scale. This bin here has some snap hardware and supplies. This is black and white zippers, which is what I use the most of. These are the divided basket pattern by Noodlehead, I believe. And they're great, I love them. And then on top of this, I have the patterns I use the most of. So my bag making patterns for my business, and then the apparel patterns I use the most, a couple binders. And then this stores more sewing supplies, labels, hardware, just kind of all of the like little things that need a home but that you need to be able to grab kind of quickly all live in here, and then they tuck away. This is fabric storage, and I went through all this in my declutter, so I won't go too much into it now, but just as a little bit of an overview. So we got there. I have command hooks that hold rulers and guides on each side. Again, I like having things easily accessible, but also easy to tuck away. Immediately next to it, this is my ironing station, and you can see it also holds fabrics. And then I have like a need to be mended, need to be broken down bin. Right now I have a bunch of bras that I need to take apart and repurpose the hardware for. But this is great, and right in front of my big window with a nice view into the neighbor's house. Going back over here, we have more floating shelves, top bins. The one on the left holds cross stitch. This bin is all of my open zipper tape, and it's right above my cutting table, so it's nice and easy to grab. And then I have another bin of big 4 patterns in the middle on the top there. And then I have a couple more of the Noodlehead divided basket patterns. This one has all of my plastic cam snaps. And then this one holds like waxed canvas scraps, and then pouches I need to sew for my business. And then I have pins and pattern weights and stuff like that here, and a lint roller because of the cat you just saw. I'm going to step back a little bit. This is my cutting table. It's kind of a hodgepodge. The top is from IKEA. It's an IKEA desktop. The white organizer is from IKEA, and then you can kind of see we put little feet on it to raise it up so it's counter height. And then in the bins I have lots of fabric and things like that stored. Nice and easy to grab. Next to it is my desk. This is another custom piece my husband built. Tucked under there in the corner, my big printer. But this is where I do most of my work and most of my business things. You can see me there. Hi. This was a TJ Maxx find, and it's great for keeping all of my little things organized. The bottom drawer, though, is where I keep all of the little notions that I want to have right by my machine. So you see my seam rippers in there, extra needles, all that kind of stuff lives right there, which is great because it's only about 1.5 feet from my main sewing machine. And over here, I have a plant friend. I have some general art. This one, no capes. It's Edna mode. It's a motto to live by. My main sewing machine is my new Bernina 480. She lives there. Next to her I have my serger and cover stitch. Cat, I swear to goodness. She loves me, darn it. I keep serger threads up there. There's a quilt top currently on top of it, and then a little pile of stuff that actually needs to get accomplished. And then I have fabrics. Again, I won't go too in-depth in fabrics because I just did a video talking all about my fabrics. But in here I keep shipping supplies, so the little cards that go with items when I ship them out, and tape. And then I have some pre-made ready-to-ship pouches down there. Bag hanging on the back of the door. And that is pretty much my whole sewing room. Like I said, it's pretty simple. We've worked pretty hard to add storage in practical places, but not too much. I need to find something to do on this wall here, which is above kind of my cutting table. It's just a big empty space. Not quite sure how I want to fill it. But I might make a wall hanging type quilt and hang it there, but we'll see. And that is my whole sewing room.